Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the snowy Andover, Minnesota. Oh my gosh, it is crazy here. It's March 5th, March 5th, 2025 at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm coming to you live. And yeah, we just had a snowstorm last night. That's what happens in March. We either have like really, really snowy weather or we have warm weather. It's weird. It's one of those months though that we know spring is coming. So it's crazy though. We had a snowstorm last night and school is out. So we have a louder house than normal. You might hear doors opening and people talking in the background, but it's all good. This is where I do it, at my house. Welcome to all of you. We're going to have another live paper crafting class, and this one is going to be sharing how to make a twist open fun fold card. Now, this might be familiar to you, but you know what I always enjoy? I always enjoy seeing a card that's familiar as a fold, but seeing someone else's take on it. And so I hope that you stick around and I hope that you enjoy what you see. I'm a teacher, so I go through lots of details, but that's my thing. So if you're enjoying this video as I go, please like, subscribe, all those good things. Comment, because you get entered into a prize drawing. And Trisha Josephs is here to monitor comments. So if you have questions as we go, I try not to answer them unless I catch them, but I'm not paying attention to comments during the live because I get distracted. Sometimes I glance at them and I catch comments, but Trisha's here to be that other part of me that can tune into all of what you're saying during the live. What else do I want to tell you? Oh, we're going to be using the Mixed Media Florals Suite of products. So Stampin' Up! Is all about coordination, and one thing that they're really good at is combining these coordinating products into one bundle of items called a suite. And so then you can just use one order number and order the stamps, the dies, the papers, the embellishments, all those good things all at once. It takes less time and you know that everything's going to coordinate. So we're using the Mixed Media Florals Suite. It is one of the newer online exclusive suites. So you won't find it in a publication, but you will find it in the online store. We are featuring this suite in my All-Star group. So you'll also be able to tap into our All-Star exclusives if you place a qualifying order through me, or maybe you're in my Stampers with Art Stars community, which are demonstrators or discount shoppers, or maybe you want to purchase it, so you can certainly do that too. But that's another way to get 12 other ideas using this suite of products. And today is Blog Hop Day, which is why I'm featuring the suite, because we are going to connect all of the demonstrators that get together for the exclusives. We get together once a month and we also do a public blog hop so that you can see 12 more ideas without having to pay anything, featuring this suite. So lots of inspiration from all of us. I hope that you sit back and enjoy. The supplies and measurements and all of those good things are in a blog post that is connected to this video. So at 3 p.m. Central Time, which is about 4 hours from now, you're going to be able to click on that link, and that's when our blog hop goes live. I can't post it early, or you guys will be saying, well, how do I get to other people's posts? So it's timed. So you're just going to have to wait a little bit longer than normal, but then you can tune in and you can rewatch the video from that post. You can see photos, you can see the measurements, visual supplies, and all the other goodness that goes along with it. So it's so fun. You guys are chiming in. Some of you are from Minnesota and you're also experiencing this snowstorm. And some of you are from like other countries. This is so cool. The measurements and supplies are also shared in a PDF that's printable. So let me take you to that sheet real quick. This is something that you would be able to print off and access, and either you can print it off or keep it on your computer, but you have access to this through the blog post that will go live at 3 p.m. And it has pictures of the cards, it has the title, it has the date up here, which is hard to see because my head is over the top of it, but then the measurements and all the supplies, and these are clickable. They're not visual supplies, but you can click on them and it will take you to the online store. Now, if you are a demonstrator, shop through yourself. You want to get your discount. If you are someone else's customer, shop through them, share the love, right? I'm just glad that you're here to see what I have to share. So on that note, we are going to go down to the desktop, and I have not yet prepared my desktop, so forgive me. I'm also going to switch my photo here. Hang on a minute, because I noticed that my head is kind of dipping down a bit. Let's try that. It's a little bit higher. Okay, I'm going to tape down my grid paper because I like to keep it in place as I demonstrate. Let me zoom in a bit here too. I was rushing this morning, I have to admit. One of my kiddos was at his friend's house last night, and I went to bed and found out in the morning that he decided to stay overnight. He let his dad know. So I'm glad he did, because it was crazy out there. First we had rain, and then we had snow on top of it. And any of you who are familiar with that sort of weather know that that's really scary weather, because first you have the water there and it freezes, and then it becomes frozen ice underneath snow. So you don't even know that you're driving on something slick, because what you see is snow. So it can get really dangerous on the road. These are the papers from the Mixed Media Florals Suite of products. So you can see here's the sheet that comes with it. It lists the colors that are coordinating, and then you get 2 of each of these double-sided sheets when you buy the paper. You can, I forgot to mention this, you can buy all of the items in the suite separately too. So if there's maybe you just want the paper, you can certainly just get the paper. Maybe you just want the stamps, you can certainly just get the stamps. So these are the fun papers that are in this suite. I'm going to put this one on top because we are going to mention that a little later if I remember. Then let me show you the stamp set that I have, because there are actually 2 stamps and bundles that you can get in this suite. So I have the Mixed Labels bundle in front of me. It comes with labels, a little leaf accent piece, a fun little grid die, and then we've got an image that matches this, all these words, and they can fit into the labels. So we'll be using that. And then the other part of the suite that I'm going to bring in are the low profile dots. And I love the low profile dots, you guys, because first of all, you have big and small. They're low profile, so they're easy to add to cards without having to add extra postage, at least in the US. And the colors are stunning. You have gold, which goes with so much. And then you have this beautiful pink, but there's a sheen to them so that they do kind of coordinate with other pinks. It doesn't just have to be like the petal pink, which is the color that it's in. So play around with embellishments that have that type of kind of vibrating sheen to it, okay? All right, then we're gonna bring in some paper. So I have some to cut. I thought I was gonna get it cut beforehand. I did not. Oh, one thing I wanna mention is that I did not list the medium envelopes in the list of supplies. So just note that if you are going to make greeting cards, you'll want to have envelopes too. I oftentimes forget to list these, but that is a supply item that you can purchase. And we do want to make and send cards, right? I mean, or even just purchase. Let's say you haven't gotten into making them yet. Purchase cards, purchase stationery, write some notes to people. Put it in the mail. It means so much more to receive a note or a card in the mail than it does to receive a text or an email, believe it or not. And you guys know this, don't you? I mean, it's something you can keep and hold on to and put in your memory box too, right? All right, so we're gonna take a half a sheet of basic white cardstock. I have the basic white regular cardstock because the thick would be too much for a fun fold like this. You want to have, as thin as possible so that you can have those multiple layers and folds. We're going to take this half sheet, which is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it at the 5.5 inch mark. Okay. It's windy in Dallas, says Heidi, and rainy in central New York. Oh, you guys are so fun to chime in and tell me how you're doing weather-wise where you're at. Okay, so after you've, oh, sorry, I'm gonna put that back in there because I wanna tell you, this is like a little tip, right? So when you score your cardstock, the little valley part of the fold, the part that dips in, is on top right now, right? So what I would wanna do is I would wanna take this and fold it away and create a mountain with that fold. It's the best way to deal with the fibers. It makes the fibers smoother when you're folding. So I've got my crease downward. What I want to do now is flip this and put it back in, and then I'm going to bring it to the 4 1/4 inch mark, and I'm going to put this down and grab a pencil, a sharp enough pencil that can take and make a little tiny mark right here on my paper. So here's that first score line flipped over. So now I can feel the bump. It's like a little mountain there. And then I've got a little mark here, and I'm going to keep this side in the trimmer. I'm going to line up that mark with this upper left corner. I tilted it somewhat, 45 degrees, and now I'm going to connect that mark with that corner to create another score line. Now I'm going to bring it back and erase that pencil line. So now we have the dip here and the bump here. So again, we want to fold away from the dip. And if I flip it over, we're going to fold away from the dip. And now what we've got, if we take and crease those using a bone folder to help, is we have our fun fold card base. That gets folded here. And this is the direction you want to place it in front of you, okay? So that you have this little tab going upward, the bookbinding type of seam over here, right? That's over on this side, and it's going to open like that, okay? It's actually going to open like this. That's where the twist open happens. But before we add our layers, let us go through and cut some layers because I didn't cut them all yet. Mixed Florals. Oh, the Mixed Florals is the other bundle. Yes, thank you, Vicki, for pointing that out. Mixed Florals is another bundle that you can get in this suite. It has like the floral images and dies that will cut out those floral images. So that's really fun. Okay, I'm cutting a few layers in here, and I'm sorry I forgot to do this ahead of time. I'm going to share the measurements with you in just a second. I thought I had plenty of time this morning. I even did some of my puzzle. We have a puzzle that's sitting out, and I'm eating breakfast. I'm doing my puzzle. I'm like, I have plenty of time. And then all of a sudden it was 10:30, and I rushed down here. I'm like, I got to cut my layers. Okay, so this layer here is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. This layer is 4 1/8 by 1 1/8. Both of those are. And then we're going to cut another layer, and this is Calypso Coral, by the way. It's one of the brighter colors that's in that's in this suite of papers. Okay, I'm going to cut this one at 4 1/4. Excuse me, by 5 3. I'm sorry, did I say 4 1/4? 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So let me go through this sheet again here, and we are going to point out, oops, hang on. We're going to point out what I've just cut. Okay, so I have the basic white base, which is 4 1/4 by 11. I still need to cut my sentiment card stock, and that is the background layer piece. And then I have coordinating card stock. That is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. We just cut that one in Calypso Coral. We have two pieces that are 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. Then we have 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So all of those were done in Calypso Coral. And now you see one more that's 1 1/4 by 3 inches. That's either Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, or Basic Black. I think I actually made a mistake here. I was looking at these earlier before I went live. Let me just take a peek here. I have these flipped around. This measurement, I'm going to have to repost this. Good thing I have till 3. This measurement should actually be up here, and this measurement should be down here, because this is a layer, and this is the one that we're actually going to cut onto. So ignore this one, and let me see if I can highlight them both at the same time. Oh, no, I can't. Okay, so that one and this one down here. Now, you can see here that I wrote in Garden Green or Granny Apple with some strips. This is something that's optional. I'm not going to show it on the first card. And then we need our Mixed Media Florals designer paper. So let me cut our sentiment pieces. We'll go back to the desktop. And then we're going to cut our designer paper. So we need for our sentiment piece, this is the bigger one. It's 1 3/8 by 3 1/4, and this isn't big enough, so hang on. 1 3/8, and I'm using this side of my trimmer. You can see there's measurements over here. So I'm gonna go to the 1 3/8 mark by 3 1/4. And then our other piece, which is black or white, and in this case, it's going to be black, is going to be 1 1/4. So it's a little bit thinner. I'm gonna move that out of the way. And I cut this one wrong, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that again. 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I think those layer together. Yep, so that's what we wanna have for that. I'm just gonna make sure. Yeah, that looks right. And then we need our designer paper. So let's grab our designer paper back, and we're gonna cut out, and I've already got a couple pieces here. Actually, I think I've cut them all. So we're gonna cut out a layer like this that is 4 by 4, and then 2 strips that are 1 by 4. And I've chosen this design because I wanted a real prominent design on the front. And then I wanted something subtle, but yet still decorative on the little side pieces. So we have all of our layers. I'm gonna cut one more black because I want to do 2 pieces of embossing at the same time. So let me grab one more piece of black here. We'll just cut from here. This one's gonna also be 1 1/4 inches wide. It really doesn't matter how long they are, by the way, because your strips, if you use a different sentiment or whatever, it might have to be shorter or longer depending. Okay, I think I have things cut. All right, we're gonna prepare our pieces, which is what I always do next, and I'm gonna zoom in just a tad because I feel like we're seeing too much of the desktop right now. I'll be using this strip, and we're gonna emboss on it. We're gonna use our embossing tool additions, embossing additions kit, that's what it's called. So we have our tray, we have our embossing buddy, we have our brush, we have our powder, and we're using the Basics Wow embossing powder in white. And then I also have a tool that I keep in my little caddy here, and it's the tweezers to hold. So let's grab our stamps and dies. We're gonna be using this die here, which is the widest of our dies. And then for the stamps, we're gonna be using the one that says, "You're pretty wonderful." And I already have that mounted onto my piece here. We're gonna die cut first, and then we're going to stamp, which is not typical of what I do when I'm using non-see-through or the cling mount stamps. But because I want to make sure that, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead. No, I want to die cut first. I know why I didn't die cut or stamp first. It's because of the embossing powder. I didn't want to flatten it out. And when you press through the die cutting machine, it flattens things, right? Or it embosses. It puts pressure on it. So what I want to do is I want to take my black strip, which is 1 1/4 inches wide, and I'm just going to feed it through my die so that it's going past one of these points. And your die is the same on either side, so it doesn't matter which end you go into. I'm going to grab a little sticky note here and just make sure everything stays in place. And then I thought I would bring in the Boho Blue mini embossing machine, mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. So Boho Blue is one of those colors that I believe we're saying goodbye to. Let me quick peek. I believe it's true. Hang on. I want to make sure I'm telling you correctly. Oh gosh, Rachel. All of a sudden I have this doubt in my mind. Let me just breeze through the catalog here and go to our colors. And I bet you're all saying the answer right now that I am forgetting. So yes, it's a 2023 through 25, oops, there you go, color, Boho Blue. So I don't know if Stampin' Up's gonna keep this Boho Blue machine around or not, but those colors are leaving us soon. You might want to stock up if you had Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path, Boho Blue, Wild Wheat, and I think it's Copper Clay. If those colors are ones that you have enjoyed, you may want to stock up on one of your favorites. Thanks, Nicole. Oh yes, thank you, you guys. It's a beautiful color, isn't it, Holly? Oh, you all are sharing your love for Boho Blue. It's a beautiful color. All right, so now I'm going to take my plates. Now you can use your big embossing, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine too, but I thought I would show off the mini because I'm very bad at showing off the mini. I just like the weight of the big machine. And this one you kind of have to hold steadier as you go, but it's so good for travel and all that. You'll want to have plate number 1, scratchy plate number 2, and then we're going to take and put our paper in here, and we're only going to cut the front part of it. We don't want to go all the way back because it's going to put too much pressure in other areas. So we just want to cut the front part of it. So I'm going to aim the front part in, put our other cutting plate on top, aim it straight, and crank it. And this is all that we need this for, is just to give a separation of that black piece from the rest of the paper. So if you're only going to be doing a little bit of die cutting in your life and you use smaller dies, this is a great investment. All right, let's put this aside for now and bring in our paper that we just cut. And now we have this beautiful little, sorry, cleaning up again. We have this beautiful little design here, and actually you can see it better if I hold the paper away. A nice little fun stitched look almost, right? Very fun. So now let's grab our Versamark ink pad and our stamp. And I have tested this stamp before. I know it stamps pretty straight. So I am going to stamp that now that I know where my cut is. I'm going to stamp it on here, going as straight as I can onto my paper. And then I'm going to grab my embossing powder and cover up my Versamark, because Versamark will grab onto powder, by the way. So you want to make sure that I forgot to use that again. I have very dry hands, you guys. So anytime that I use embossing powder, you will see me forget to use the embossing buddy beforehand, but it helps to prepare your paper so that if you have oils on your hands, it will keep the little flecks of embossing powder from connecting to those more oily spots that you've touched, right? So then we just give it a couple good flicks. And if you want to, you can, pour on more and flick it again, just in case you need to cover everything. Another great tool for when you're going to emboss or heat emboss, hi Rochelle, is to take your pick tool and to kind of grab those little tiny pieces of powder that you can't reach with your finger. And it's a great cleanup method. I love it. Now, if there's a couple little pieces of embossing powder grains, it's okay. I'm just going to put that off to the side for just a second and hold on to it with my tweezers that holds without having to actually grip anything. I love this. You just have to grip it to open it up, and then it clamps down on it. So it's one of those tweezers. It's great for people with arthritic hands. They don't have to tighten the whole time. Okay, we're going to grab our heat tool. It has an on-off button. We're going to bring it to the 2, which is a little bit higher heat. I'm going to push this off to the side more because I don't want to heat any powders that are in the way. It's going to get loud, but you're going to watch the magic of embossing. If you've never seen it before, it's crazy cool. So you want to hover and you want to wiggle the end of your heat tool. You can also place this on top of like foil covered cardboard, and that will help reflect some of the heat back onto the opposite side. Oh, are you seeing that now? Isn't that, it's so pretty, you guys. It's so amazing. And once you have that bright, smooth look to your powder, it's done. You don't want to overheat because then you can get the non-shiny embossed powdered look. It dulls it then if you overheat. So just go long enough where you've got that nice shiny bright look. It's so pretty. Embossing is such a wow, right? Okay, next. Actually, let's do this other strip here too. So for this one, And I'm demonstrating this now. You get to see embossing 2 times in a row. I'm demonstrating this now because I want to show you another method if you don't want to invest in the dies or the die cutting machine. So you cut into this strip at about 1/4 of an inch, and then you grab each of those corners, and you're going to cut from those 2 corners down to where that cut went in, okay? And you've created a flag, a banner. You've got a fun little look there. So let's do the same thing. We're going to ink up our stamp. We're going to stamp it. And I'm trying to remember, I think, yeah. So mine is slightly tilted, which is why you saw me angle upward when I did it. Yeah, it's still angled upward. So hopefully that went straight. Yep, pretty straight. It might be a little angled upward, but it's homemade. It's made with love. Let's sprinkle this. Now the tray, I should show you that too, how that works. And once again, Rachel forgot the embossing buddy. I do want to tell you that when you use the embossing buddy with black cardstock, sometimes you really have to work on it to wipe away the excess powder from the embossing buddy. So it's almost something that I avoid using when I don't need to on dark cardstock. It's great for lighter cardstock, but okay, we're ready to heat that, but let's first take and clean this up. So you want to tap off your container into this tray, because if you have any powder on the lid edge here, it will help kind of get that clean. Then you take and unscrew this, and you grab your brush. All of this comes with the toolkit. It's amazing. And you just tap it, and it's going to go right down into this container. If you had any loose pieces of powder, you can take and push them with the brush, tap some more, push, tap some more, push, okay? You can also use the side of your container. When I've been in a rush and too lazy to unscrew the end, I've just taken and gone like this. So you can do it that way too. You're gonna have a few little bits and pieces of powder that kind of float out into the room, but then you just put it on your floor. Okay, let's heat. Look at the difference. Ready? This is the wow part. Here it goes. Oh yeah, I need my tweezers. Hang on. I'm so used to also doing it without the tweezers because I've done it for years without the tweezers. Okay, here it goes. Oh. Don't you hear the birds singing as it brightens up? It's so fun. You know, giving cards and, you know, writing fun sentiments or beautiful words inside those cards is meaningful, but it is so fun to create. It fulfills us, doesn't it? So next, we're going to take this piece and we're going to mount, because this one we're going to save for another example, but we're going to take this one and grab our seal adhesive and add that to the back side. Okay, and then we're going to mount it onto this piece. Remember, this was longer than 3 1/4 inches, but I said I didn't care, and you'll see why. Now we'll mount that so that we have a border of Calypso coral on the top and bottom. Then we'll take our paper snips and we're going to just cut carefully along that edge. So we have an even border all the way around. Then we'll grab our trimmer and we'll trim this off. And you can trim, you know, wherever it suits you, but I want to add some embellishments over to the right here. So I'm going to scoot this over a little bit more than I would have to make room for those embellishments. And I'm going to trim. And I'm not going to tell you a measurement because you might have stamped your words further over or further this way. Just know that you want to have some room for embellishments if you're going to copy the same style that I just did. Now let's put it all together. Oh, we need to stamp this too. Let's stamp this one. This one's going to get stamped with the Your Kindness Made My Day. And so we will ink that up. We're going to test it out onto our grid paper so that we can see if those words are lined up. Oh yeah, they look good. So if I just assume that they're stamping where they should be, This should line up really well. There we go. Nope, we're gonna flip it over. That's why we have two sides. I'm going at an angle, forgive me. Oh, that's better. Next, I think we're gonna assemble now. It's time to assemble. Let's bring in our base. And we're gonna start with these square layers on the front. So we're gonna mount our beautiful floral onto our Calypso coral, like this. And then we're gonna take and mount this. But ooh, did you see what I did? I almost started putting adhesive over the whole back, but you don't wanna do that because you have this triangular area that's only going to receive this piece. It's only going to receive it because down here is where we need to have it exposed for the inside of our card. So you're only gonna put adhesive here. You can do it with seal adhesive, or you can use the lovely Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. Did you see that, how I threw that in there? Do you see this beautiful butterfly? Oh my gosh. So Ashley and James from the Country Hive is starting a new creatures line of glue holders, and they used my little mascot, Blue Morpho butterfly, for inspiration. Yay. I'm so excited. So let's go ahead and add a thin line of glue, and I'm not putting it super close to the edges, not close to this edge, this one, or that one, on purpose, because sometimes the glue comes out a little, more than you need. Plus, I want to be able to have some wiggle room. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay this on here. So I'm seeing about a 1/16 of an inch of white all the way around. So I see 1/16 inch here, 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 and here. And if I put this underneath here, you know what I'm talking about. See all that white all around, okay? There's a white border all the way around. Then when you're ready, you can press it in place, but you have that wiggle room for a little bit. Thanks, Trisha, for posting the Country Hive. I don't get any commission, but she gives me free products from time to time, so it's so nice. But I do love their stuff, you guys. I love their stuff. You ordered the butterfly? Yay, Maureen! Okay, now what I'm gonna do is open this up, and we're gonna add this to the inside. Oh gosh, which one was the straight? This is the one I liked. We're gonna add this to the inside. Now, normally I would say add your inner layer first and then your outer layer, but I really wanted to make sure that that square was gonna have an even border. So if you're worried, you can take and bring this up a little higher or in a little bit more. But what I would do is kind of like test it out, close this up, and make sure that it's getting covered. And if it's not, oopsie, 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 you can take and shift it a bit so that it's going to get covered in that lower left-hand corner, right down in here. Okay, and it's covering it up. It looks great. Now we have our accent strips. So these two will flip over. We'll add adhesive to them, and you can add your adhesive a little bit neater than I'm doing. But I'm going fast because I want to show you even more. We have so much more than just this card. It's a simple, beautiful card. We have embellishments to do too, but I'm going to show you lots of versions of this card. I actually have 7 versions, 6 that I've made and 1 that inspired this card idea. It was a swap. So this piece is going to go along here with a 1/16 of an inch on these 3 sides, okay? And then we're gonna open it up and we're gonna put this piece in here like that. Do you see what we did here? We made sure that our flowers were going in the correct direction if we're looking at the card horizontally. And then when we open it, they are still going to be in the correct direction, but our card now becomes a portrait style card. You can see the height of it instead of the width. Do you know what I mean? So it's a really fun card, but you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the direction of this paper. Okay, I'm going to zoom in again. Now we're going to put this piece on, and to do this, I'm going to actually add seal adhesive to this side, and then I'm going to add a dimensional. Here they are. Actually, I'm going to add 2 of them because it's a pretty big piece here. Oh, my dimensional sheet is acting weird. 1. I have, oh, that one's fine. but on this one it was like peeling off the weird layer. Okay, so I have a couple dimensionals on the end there. Peel off the backing. I'm going to stick it down so that this black edge goes right up to that Calypso coral edge here. So we see the Calypso coral border still. And that makes this piece look like it's completely bordered as well. Now we'll take our dots. Dots. Where did they go? Rachel's bound, here it is. Rachel's bound to lose something during the videos lately, isn't she? Okay, I chose to use the gold ones on my sample, but we're gonna bring in the pink ones for this one that I'm demonstrating, because that way you can see a couple variations. So now I actually have 8 cards that I'm sharing. We're gonna stick one right here in the middle, and if you need to, you can measure, and then we'll take the smaller ones, we'll add one right below, and we'll add one right above. And then down here, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to add one in the middle. That looks good. And then we'll add one on each side. Like that. It's actually my favorite color for fingernail polish. I love this color. So there is the finished card, you guys. That is a twist open fun fold card. We have more. Don't go away. Here is the version with the gold. Let's zoom out. Okay, so we have to zoom out even more. These are tall cards, you guys. So there's a couple different versions. Gold versus the pink. The gold just it brings out the yellow in the flowers, and the pink brings out the other flowers a little bit more, right? Okay, and then I'm going to show you another version. So we're going to grab this piece and we're going to take some Daffodil Delight cardstock. Hang on, which drawer is it in? This drawer. Daffodil Delight. We need to cut a strip that is 1 3/8 inches tall, and I'm going to show you the trick for doing this layer. So you're going to mount it again like we did our other embossed piece, leaving room on the left edge for trimming. Don't worry about the right edge, okay? Bring your scissors in and just follow, again, the lines of your black paper. Same thing, but this time we're going to trim closer to the sentiment. We're going to trim so that the sentiment looks more balanced in the middle, because we're not putting embellishments on the sides. Instead, we're going to bring in my buddy. I love this punch so much. I love leaf punches. We used to have a leaf punch that was called the leaf punch. It had 3 wider leaves on it, kind of a one. It didn't have 2 images that you could punch out. It had 1, but it was the sweetest little leaf punch. I was so sad when they retired it, and then they brought this one in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. So we're going to use garden green for that. I have to get my garden green. Garden green. Here it is. And is this piece? Yes, this is 1 1/4 inches tall. Isn't that fun? You can tell from looking at it that it's 1 1/4 inches tall. Well, I can. I love math. All right, so that is the perfect size for punching these leaves. This leaf will get added behind here. This leaf will get added behind here. So if you are sticking it down onto your card, you don't want to have anything stuck in place over on this half. You put your seal adhesive here like I shared with this one, right, on the left side, or the right side, sorry. Then you stick that down onto your card, but you leave this one with the dimensionals on protected. So you're not taking the backings off the dimensionals yet. This is stuck down on your card. You glue this using your Tombow glue, and you tuck it and you stick it down. Then you glue this one. Again, the Tombow glue, so you can get into those small spaces. In fact, you may want to get a precision tip bottle to put your glue into so that you can really get into those fine places. And then after these are in place on your card, Then you peel this up, you take the backings off the dimensionals and you stick it down. You still have that fun lift that creates shadow and gives more of a, I don't know, shadow just brings your eye to that spot, right? So then that card, oh, one more thing to point out about that. I took this beautiful paper here and I cut it into like 6 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get card layers. I actually didn't do that with all of them, but like I had a 4x4 piece for these 2 cards. And then I had another 4-inch piece over here. So 4, 4, 4. And then I took one of the middle pieces and cut it to 4x5 1/4. And that became one more extra layer. So remember this one is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I put one more layer on top of that, a 4x5 1/4 layer, and I came up with this card. So this one here has Daffodil Delight for its background layer pieces. All of the yellows are Daffodil Delight back here, here, and on that piece. This is more designer paper from the pack. Because it wasn't colored, I thought it needed a pop of color, which is, excuse me, why I brought in the leaves. I brought in the leaf punch just to give it a little bit more color, added the gold in the center of some of those flowers that, so you can see the gold embellishments on there, hopefully. So I put that in the center of some of the flowers just to give it a little bit more emphasis of yellow in there. And down here is where I added even more color. So I've got the, that's 4x5 1/4 inch piece down here, stamped I'm so glad we're friends instead of the other sentiment there. And that is the second card. By the way, this piece is from the same. So if you cut a 4x4 here, and then you cut 2 more 1-inch strips, you're using exactly 4x6 from a sheet, which is perfect math for those 12x12 papers. That's the second version. The third version used Granny Apple Green ink and a stamp and Granny Apple Green cardstock. And let's see if I can find a strip. It's close. It's not exactly 1 1/8 inches tall, but you can take and stamp a couple of these leaves and they punch out. This set is called Layering Leaves, so it coordinates with the bow punch. And then you can do a card that looks like this. So you have more emphasis on those leaves, I guess is what I'm saying. I chose that because this background here was really kind of like not boom in your face kind of decorative, right? It was very backgroundish looking, the paper, just blue paper. Watercolor wash, but still it needed something. So that's why I stamped the leaves this time so that they really stood out. I added the pink embellishments on this card, the petal pink. And then down here on the cardstock layer, instead of having, because you can see that this is all basic black for the layers, didn't want to have basic black down here unless I was going to emboss the sentiment, but I thought it'd be fun to just throw in a different color that coordinated with this look. So I felt like the Granny Apple Green and even Garden Green are in this paper, but you can even see a hint of some soft seafoam, which is why I brought this in down here. Use the same color ink, the Granny Apple Green, onto soft seafoam and just stamped that corner to give a little emphasis down there. This is not embossed. Instead, I just used white cardstock, stamped it with the, here it is, Tuxedo Black, the Memento ink pad. Same directions though. Everything's pretty much the same. The paper that I used for that one is this one here. So the back of, remember I said there was a 4x4 piece that I removed? I used the back of it for this card. And then these come from that same paper here, but on the other side. So you can mix and match and get all kinds of varied looks on your cards because these papers have so many patterns to them. So that is the third card with the Mixed Media Florals suite of products. Yesterday on my website though, thanks Louise, Yesterday on my website, I posted 3 other cards. I posted 3 other cards that used a different set of papers, and these papers were ones that we used in my team event. We did an online team event that was quite fun. It's a Zoom event, so the Stampers with Art Stars community, we get together every once in a while. We either do like an online crafting retreat, we do weekly lives right after these are over, and then we did this event called Connect, Create, and Share, where we hop on a Zoom call together and I lead them through a make and take, a mystery stamping project, and then I put out challenges beforehand and they can create ahead of time and share their cards. So it's a really fun event. So for the make and take, we used the Mediterranean Blooms papers. So let me show you these cards now on the desktop. I'll walk you through them. This is the one I demonstrated. So Mediterranean Blooms has the Mediterranean tile look on one side, and then beautiful oranges and lemons, lemon designs on the other side. Here's the Layering Leaves stamp set again, only with the veined lines instead of that swirly whirly look. So you have a couple different looks in that stamp set that coordinate with the bow punch. And then of course I use the sentiments from that stamp set too. So the thinking of you and the sending hugs. And so that is the look of one of the cards. I used Balmy Blue for the inside and for the sentiment layer. All of the cards are going to have a Night of Navy layer in the background and Night of Navy ink on them. Here I did bring in the gold low profile dots, but originally I had some rhinestones on this card because you can take blends markers and you can color onto your rhinestones. I used Daffodil Delight blends. Here, I'm going to zoom in instead of bringing it up high. I think you might get a better look. So you can get and color your rhinestones yellow. You can color them pink with Calypso Coral markers. You can color them blue. You can color them green, whatever color you want using the alcohol-based blends markers. So that's how I got the yellow ones, but I switched it out so that you could see a couple different versions of that card. Here it is with the rhinestones on it instead, and here it is with the gold low profile dots. So either way, you get a yellowy, shiny accent that just makes the card stunning. So this is the same card. Okay. Hey, I just thought of something. If you want to have a hidden sentiment, you could put it under here. You could put a little secret note there. Okay, the next card is using the all lemons and another tile pattern that was in the paper. Same look, only this time we use Lemon Lolly for the paper here and for the paper here. And how bright and cheerful is that? I think that one's my favorite. I don't know, this one's good too though, because I love oranges. I love the taste of oranges. So this one's all oranges. The leaves got a little hidden in these, but if you don't stick them all the way down, you still have that fun little look that they can see when they're kind of going like this. And then you open it up and you have the orange on the inside too. So this is Peach Pie, one of the in colors right now. And those are all the cards, you guys. Crazy fun. I'm gonna lay them all side by side here so you can take a screenshot if you want to. Again, these will all be on my blog soon at 3 o'clock, which is in about a little over 3 hours. So, oh my gosh, look at that. It's just filled. The desk is filled. So much prettiness. So twist open fun fold cards. We do need to do a door prize drawing. Before we do, I want to mention that you can get these products. If you go to my website at stampyourartout.com, there is a shop button and you can click on shop, or again, click on the links that are in the description of the video, or when the blog post goes live, if you click on those supplies that are listed, they're gonna lead you to shopping with me. The news that's going on stage. If you are a demonstrator, you know what I just said. If you're not a demonstrator, then the word convention might make more sense to you. Next week is Stampin' Up's annual convention. We call it On Stage. And a bunch of us are heading over to Raleigh, North Carolina to meet and create together and learn together and swap cards together. It's this big, huge convention. It's so much fun. If you're familiar with my website, I do post pictures typically when I come back or soon after a Stampin' Up! Event, sometimes even during the event, but I have been tired. As I get older, I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I can't sit here and blog. Anyways, check out my blog, social media posts on Facebook, that sort of thing, and you can see some of the fun that happens next week. I won't be live. I will not be going live for an online paper crafting class because I leave the house at like 4 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So no live on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Mondays are crazy. I never can go live on Mondays. So just know that that's why there's a gap in my lives. I'm going to be seeing the annual catalog. All of us demonstrators that are there are going to get the catalog in our hands. I'm going to be able to peruse and dream and create in our mind's eye with all of these good products and stuff. And then we'll come back home. We'll be able to pre-order, and then I'll start showing some of the fun stuff that you'll be able to get come the beginning of May. In the meantime, please know that if you are not a demonstrator, because demonstrators are getting their own copies from Stampin' Up!, just so you know. But if you're not a demonstrator and you don't have a demonstrator to get a catalog through and you live in the US, you can request a catalog. So let me now go and take you to my website where I can share with you how to get there. Oops, wrong button. Doop, 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 doop. There we are. Okay, so when you're on my website, you're gonna go to the menu here, Shop, and you're gonna click on Catalogs. It will take you to a page where there's a link. Request the catalog. Click there and fill it out, and you'll be able to be on my list for mailing the catalog to, okay? Also note that I have these little images here. These are for getting to shopping online, learning about my community, my blog. Here are blog posts too. Those are the cards I shared yesterday that I was telling you about. So if you want to, you can scroll through and learn more about what I share by visiting my website at stampyourartout.com. Other news. When I get back, I probably will have the new in colors in my hands so that I can share them with you and do my color comparison video. I don't know when that will be. I tentatively planned it for Tuesday of when I get back. We'll see. But yeah, just watch my Facebook post where I share my calendar and you can see when that's coming. Cards, remember I do show and share events. So if you have cards that you would like to show, I love getting them. I get inspired by them. In fact, I forgot to share Kelly's card. I'm going to do that next. I get inspired by them. Swap cards, gifted cards, they help inspire me and so that I can share more ideas with all of you. So, that is it. So the next live will be, because I try to do twice a week. The next live will be March 8th, Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm going to be doing some mystery stamping that I did with my team. And then the week of the 12th is out. After that, it will be March 19th. Okay, let me show you Kelly's card. And then we'll show off the prizes that we had last week. Have Trisha help me out with prize drawings, but this is her card. Kelly Burkhart is a team member, sister demonstrator, and she was part of one of my swaps, and she did this card. So that's what made me say, oh my gosh, I've done that before, and it's so much fun, I want to share it again. So that's why I brought that fold into these designs. Thank you, Kelly, for the inspiration and motivation to share that. Prizes. Last week, the prizes were, and let's see if I have my little sheet up. Please, please, please. Oh, I don't. Oh my gosh, Rachel. You thought you were ready. I'm pulling it up. Hang on. So last week, the prizes were ink spots. Oh, yeah. Ink spots, and I don't have them in front of, oh, here they are. No, is that it? Here they are. I found them. I'm coming back. Ink spots and a couple of these. So if you're an after live winner, which means that you commented after the live was done or you commented on the Facebook video, you got entered into that drawing. And I have 2 winners. So let me pull up those names on my computer so you can see if you are a winner. Jill Good was the winner on YouTube. Jill Good, 2217, you were the winner from the Afterlife comments on YouTube. Congrats. You get to pick out 5 spots, ink spots, and then you get 2 of those packets with the dimensionals and gems in them from a past paper pumpkin kit. And then on Facebook, the winner was Ruth Vickers. Congratulations to both of you. Make sure that you reach out to me again, stampyourartout@comcast.net. All right, and then the prize for today. Well, today is a blog hop day. So those people that are drawn as winners that Trisha's going to call out pretty soon, you get to pick from a tutorial of your choice. I'll demonstrate how to get to them. She has just announced them though, so I'm gonna pull them up. And there they are. Oh my gosh, Sylvia Howard and Regine Ann Ogletree. You are the winners. Thank you for tuning in and commenting during the live today. Yay, reach out to me. Again, remember it's stampyourartout@comcast.net. Congrats to all of our winners. Let's go right over to the website so I can show you how to pick out your prizes, gals. And again, remember I mentioned that you can access these tutorials yourself if you place a qualifying order, which is a $50 US before shipping and tax order through me in the month of March. You get the Mixed Media Florals All-Star Tutorial video class bundle sent to you. And you can also get them if you're a team member. You can access them if you're a team member. But we're gonna go to the shop button again. We're gonna scroll down to tutorials, and then we're gonna go over to the side menu and go to tutorials again. Once you've clicked on that, it's gonna take you to all the tutorials. There are 100 of them as of today. Wow, look at that, 100. So you can click on the latest one and you can learn more about it. You can also, if you just wanna weed them out to all-star tutorials, just click on this little thing here and it will just show the all-star tutorial bundles that we've posted in past years. Looks like there's 6 or more pages of them. There's a lot. And then if you want to, you can also just go back and you could pick from Paper Pumpkin Creatives ideas, or gosh, I have all kinds in here. I've got ones that go back years and years and years. There are some that were tutorials about fun folds and stuff like that. So anyways, check it out and pick what you'd like and then get back to me, okay? Yes, congratulations to all of the winners. And thank you all so much for being a part of this video, this day with me, this live with me. It was so much fun. Trisha, blessings to you. Thanks so much for helping out with this. I don't think there's anything else to announce. I keep looking at my notes, but I think we're good to go. So I'm gonna let you all go. I'm not seeing any other last minute questions or comments saying, Rachel, you forgot this, because I usually do. Just checking. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. Rebecca says, hit the like, the thumbs up. Appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna let you go and you guys all have a great day. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.